SpongeBob SquarePants. He is supposed to be the lovable, optimistic fry cook who just wants to make jellyfish jelly and flip Krabby Patties. But what if we've had it wrong this entire time? What if SpongeBob isn't the innocent, cheerful hero we all thought he was, but actually the villain of Bikini Bottom? With how often he ruins people's lives, annoys his neighbors, and creates chaos, maybe all the hate he gets from the townspeople is totally justified. Part 1. SpongeBob's destructive personality. Let's start with what SpongeBob does constantly, and that's annoying literally everyone around him. He's overly energetic, completely unaware of personal space, and absolutely relentless when it comes to getting his way. One of the clearest examples is in The Paper, where SpongeBob torments Squidward with a piece of garbage. Squidward just wants to be left alone, but SpongeBob's insistence on playing with the paper, right outside his house, drives him insane. He pretends it's innocent fun, but it clearly crosses into psychological torment. Then there's Squid's Visit, possibly one of the creepiest episodes of the series. SpongeBob literally rebuilds Squidward's entire house inside his own so that Squidward will visit him. That's not quirky, it's obsessive, it's manipulative, it's terrifying. Imagine if your neighbor recreated your house just to force you to hang out with them. That's stalker behavior. And what about the Great Snail Race? SpongeBob forces Gary to race against his will, training him like a drill sergeant until Gary literally collapses. He doesn't even realize how harmful he's being until it's too late. SpongeBob constantly pushes people and pets past their limits, all while acting like he's doing nothing wrong.
Make that 2, folks!
Gary?
Plus a blown head gasket! Oh, and the poor creature's still going for it!
Gary? You can stop now!
And he's losing control!
When you really break it down, SpongeBob's behavior starts to look less like innocent chaos and more like toxic positivity. He steamrolls everyone around him with his energy, ignoring how it affects them, and when things go wrong, he acts surprised. But it happens over and over again. Even though he isn't really innocent, he would still subscribe to this video, and so should you. Part 2. Bikini Bottom hates him, and they might be right. This is where things start to get suspicious. It's not just Squidward who hates SpongeBob, everyone in Bikini Bottom seems to be sick of him. And maybe that's not just a running joke, it's a sign, in case you haven't guessed. This will become a major issue later. Take Pickles as an example. When SpongeBob temporarily loses his confidence as a fry cook, the customers are thrilled. Bubble Bass complains sure, but there's this moment where the entire Krusty Krab feels more peaceful without SpongeBob's constant yelling, flipping, and over-the-top energy. Or in No Hat for Pat, when SpongeBob trains Patrick to become a Krusty Krab employee, it ends in complete disaster, and the townspeople blame SpongeBob. They even cheer when Patrick quits. Why? Because SpongeBob was the one encouraging him in the first place, pushing Patrick into something he clearly wasn't ready for. Once again, SpongeBob causes a problem, then acts shocked when things fall apart. Keep this in mind for later, but one of the strongest clues that SpongeBob might actually be feared by the town shows up in Frankendoodle. In the episode, SpongeBob accidentally brings a doodle version of himself to life, Doodlebob. Instead of getting rid of the doodle immediately, SpongeBob treats it like a joke, even as it becomes more dangerous. Doodlebob wreaks havoc across town, attacks Squidward, and nearly destroys SpongeBob's home.
What do you think you're doing, Doodle?
You Doodle! Me, SpongeBob!
Be careful with that thing! Who knows what'll happen?
What makes this episode so telling is SpongeBob's reaction. He doesn't fully take it seriously until it's out of control, and instead of warning the town or calling for help, he tries to handle it his way. Meanwhile, the chaos escalates, and innocent people, like Squidward, get caught in the crossfire. This episode feels like a metaphor for SpongeBob himself, something small and silly that gradually becomes a threat. And by the time people realize the danger, it's already too late. If Bikini Bottom seems cold or distant towards SpongeBob, maybe it's because they've learned to expect disaster when he's around, whether it's with jellyfish, bubble blowers, or sentient drawings, chaos tends to follow SpongeBob everywhere he goes. Part 3. The unintentional chaos of SpongeBob's kindness. SpongeBob isn't evil in the traditional sense. He's not plotting to take over Bikini Bottom or hurt anyone on purpose. But maybe that's what makes him more dangerous. He thinks he's helping. He thinks he's spreading joy and friendship, when in reality, he's making people's lives harder without even realizing it. Take the episode Hall Monitor. SpongeBob is given a small role of authority at boating school, and what does he do? He completely takes over the town. He starts patrolling the streets, causing mass panic while thinking he's doing the right thing. Everyone's afraid of him, and he doesn't even realize he's the cause of the chaos. The police end up searching for a maniac, and the joke is, it's SpongeBob. That episode alone shows just how out of touch he can be with the consequences of his actions. In Sandy, SpongeBob, and the Worm, SpongeBob's refusal to listen to Sandy and take her seriously nearly gets the whole town eaten by a giant worm. He laughs off her warning, mocks her fear, and convinces the townspeople to go after the wrong target. The result? The worm destroys Bikini Bottom. SpongeBob's belief in his own optimism blinds him to logic and causes real damage. And finally, we can't ignore boating school. It's the foundation of one of the show's longest-running gags, SpongeBob constantly failing to get his license. But what's less discussed is how insanely stressful this must be for Mrs. Puff. SpongeBob's constant crashing puts her in danger, risks the lives of others, and even lands her in jail multiple times. She becomes paranoid, anxious, and traumatized, and SpongeBob never really gets it. He's too cheerful to see how deeply he's affecting her.
I'm ready! Here I come, Mrs. Puff! I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready.
I'm not ready.
I'm ready. Hi, Mrs. Puff! Today is the day I'm gonna pass my boating exam.
When you add all this up, SpongeBob starts to look less like a harmless goofball and more like a walking disaster. His kindness isn't fake, but it's destructive. He means well, but his refusal to acknowledge how his actions affect others makes him more dangerous than he appears. It's no wonder the citizens of Bikini Bottom groan when they see him coming. Remember what I said? To them, he's not a ray of sunshine. He's a storm in square pants. Final thoughts. Is SpongeBob the villain of Bikini Bottom? SpongeBob has caused more destruction, stress, and suffering than almost any other character in Bikini Bottom. But because he does it with a smile, no one holds him accountable. His hyperactive personality, boundary-pushing behavior, and complete disregard for how others feel make him the perfect, unintentional villain. One who thinks he's helping, but constantly makes things worse. From forcing Squidward into misery, to turning every minor situation into chaos, to literally making the town abandon him once a year, SpongeBob might just be the character we should be most concerned about. So what do you think? Is SpongeBob secretly the villain of Bikini Bottom? Or is he just misunderstood by everyone around him? Let me know your take in the comments and make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like these. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.